Hi and welcome. I'm Lorelai from Namasturm Yoga. So sometimes you want to practice yoga, but you don't have a whole lot of time. This is going to be a short and sweet practice that's going to make you feel like it was worth unrolling your mat. Let's go ahead and come to hands and knees to start, and we'll just do a little bit of cat-cow stretch to get the spine warmed up, to get the breath flowing with the body. Inhale, cow pose, head and tail lift, chest and belly drop. Exhale, arch the spine towards the ceiling, head comes down, cat pose. Inhale, sway the back. This is a great point to introduce your ujjayi breath. So slight narrowing of the back of the throat, and then we're matching the pace of the breath with the pace of the body as it moves. Really try to find that connection here. And ideally, we can sustain the breath throughout the practice. And then every time we move, we're matching that pace with the body. Feeling yourself just warm up here. This should feel good at this point. We do want to start with a little warm up, so we're not just diving right in to the hard poses that are working our muscles a lot. So this should feel good. And then come on back to center. And we're just going to simply take the right leg out to the side, plant the foot with the toes forward, and take the right arm up. Let the head fall back and breathe. So stay with your ujjayi breath. Even though you're not moving back and forth here, there's still a sense of rhythm and flow continuing in the body. Come on back to center and let's just switch sides. So right knee under your hip and take your left leg out and left arm up and twist open. If it feels okay with the neck, let your head turn up towards the ceiling. But if that feels bad, put your head in a place where your neck feels safe. Breathe. And then go ahead and come on back to center. We're going to step to the first downward facing dog. So we're already there. Tuck toes, lift your knees and hips. Move the chest back and give yourself plenty of time to work through the feet. So bend one knee, let the opposite leg straighten. Switch to the other side, so on and so forth. Give yourself some time here to work out the legs. Maybe wiggle the toes a little further back onto your mat. Now let's bring the shoulders forward over the wrists and come to plank. Reach through the heels, strong through the core. Reach your head away from your heels and breathe. Good, nice and strong. Hips are just slightly lower than the shoulders. Let your tailbone reach towards your heels, so it's a little bit tucked there. Now take your knees down to the floor and then slowly lower the chest between your hands. Try not to let the hips drop before your chest. Elbows stay over the wrists as they bend and softly come down to the floor. Let's just take a nice, easy Sphinx pose. So we gotta warm up the upper back, and we'll just do it gently here. Keep the legs nice and relaxed behind you. Heart forward. Breathe. If you want to come on up a little higher, you can move to, this is sometimes called seal pose. Still space between ears and shoulders. Elbows are straighter, but they're still a little soft. And then let yourself roll on down. Now take the hands next to the chest. Shoulders away from ears. Either come up into just a baby cobra with no weight in the hands, or if you're ready, you can come all the way up into cobra. Heart forward. Try to move the heads of your shoulders back so that they're behind the chest. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips, and here you are in downward facing dog again. From down dog, walk the feet together, lift your heels, move your chest back, really create a higher peak in your down dog. And then let's take the right leg up into the air, reach through the toes. Really stretch the foot for the sky. The hips can stack here, but keep your shoulders level. And then look forward between your hands and step your right foot all the way up. If that foot doesn't make it all the way up on the first try, take an extra step. Use your hand to help you if you need to. Take your left knee down. Let's take a nice low lunge here. So we're going to sink the hips forward toward the front heel, getting a stretch for that back thigh. Take the arms up, and then we can add in a little side stretch. So you're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand, and as you lunge forward, pull yourself over to the right. So we're going in the direction of the knee that's forward with that stretch. Breathe. Press some weight into the top of the back foot so that the knee's not taking all of it. And then come back to center, hands to the floor. Step your right knee back to meet the left. And we're going to lower the chest down between the hands. Inhale. Come on up for Cobra again. And we're just flowing. Exhale. Downward facing dog, and we can take the other side. So again, feet together, lift the heels, move the chest back, and then sweep the left leg into the air. Reach through the toes, press the hands down, get high up with the leg, but keep your shoulders level. And then look forward and step your left foot forward between the hands. This is going to be a low lunge, so the right knee comes down, extend the back toes. Come on up. So you might start with the hips over that back knee, but see if you can start to sink them forward. So we're stretching not only in this left hip, but the front of that right thigh. Take the arms up and a little side stretch. So we're kind of double duty here. Take your right wrist with your left hand and pull yourself over to the left. Press into the top of the back foot. We're not trying to lift the back knee a lot, but just try to make it a little bit light back there. Breathe. Now, go ahead and come back. This time, we're going to step forward. So tuck your back toes under, step the back foot forward. Have your feet about hip distance apart. Just let the upper body hang and sway. Loosen up the back of the neck, maybe shake out the shoulders. If the hands hit the ground, you can grab your elbows. Sometimes it's nice to bounce the knees, to just let that upper body let go. Give in, enjoy. Now, release your elbows. Walk the feet together so the big toes touch. Heels are going to stay slightly apart. And then keep the knees bent. Roll on up to standing. Come all the way up. Take a moment to drive those shoulders back and down. Feels good. All right. Okay. So let's, standing at the top of the mat, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Inhale, take the arms out and up. If to the side is not possible, you can take them forward. So wherever you've got room. And then exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, let's go into it. Exhale, let's come all the way back to a forward fold. Now, we're going to step the right foot back. So step back into it. High lunge, front knee over ankle. Come all the way up here. Reach through the fingers. Reach through the back heel. Lunge into the front knee. This is crescent pose, nice and strong. Use your gaze to help stabilize your balance here as well. And then we're going to take the right hand to the floor inside of the left foot and take the left arm up for an easy twist. Stack the shoulders. The fingers and toes are in line with each other, so we don't want the hand ahead of the foot, which would tend to move the knee forward of the ankle, and we really want to keep the knee stacked over the ankle. Back leg is nice and straight. Now from here, let's go to a side plank. See if you can keep your upper body where it is, so that top arm reaches up. Roll to the outer edge of the back foot, and then carefully walk your left foot back. Now maybe the modified version with knee over ankle, leg out from hip, or the full version, step your foot so the feet flex, lift the hips, maybe lift your gaze, yeah. Breathe. Now we're going to just turn to the floor plank. Here's an opportunity for vinyasa. You can go through chaturanga, elbows over wrists, lower down slow. You don't even touch the ground. Roll to the tops of the feet, come to cobra. Exhale, or that's up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and breathe here. Take a couple good resting breaths in down dog. If you need to take your knees to the floor in child's pose for a little breather, you can always do that anytime down dog comes up. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step. If you want, you can lightly hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down deep. Let's reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, long forward fold. Now we're going to step the left foot back. High lunge side two, front knee over ankle. So notice that this back knee is supposed to be straight. So instead of bending it and making it kind of loosey-goosey back there, really engage through the back leg, reach through the heel, lunge into your front knee, lift your back quad, and then the arms are up, energy through the fingers, but the shoulders are soft, so try not to tense up your shoulders. And then take your left hand to the floor, right arm goes up, stack the shoulders, look up if you can, and breathe. Front knee stays over the ankle. And then we're gonna go to the side plank. So carefully rolling to the outer edge of the back foot, just the knife edge. The edge of the heel is down too. Walk the right foot either halfway back, knee over ankle, or carefully step it all the way back. Lift the hips, lift the gaze, and breathe. Side plank. Turn to your mat. You're in full plank. Lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. If you're in cobra, your thighs are completely on the floor. Up dog, they're completely off. Exhale, downward facing dog, and breathe. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, step or hop the feet forward between the hands. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold down deep. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale. Let's come to chair pose. Utkatasana. Now from here, bring the palms together in front of the heart. We're going to move, we're going to float to warrior three. So we're going to just let the torso start to move down and start to push through the left leg. Reach through the head, reach through the heels, straighten up your standing leg. Breathe. Nice and strong and stable here. Now, go ahead and bend your front knee. We're going to reach that back foot to the back of the mat. We're going to put the heel down and come up for warrior one. Breathe here. Lunge into your front knee. This is like crescent, but the back heel is down. Think of driving the left hip forward and the right hip back so the hips stay squared towards the front edge of your mat. One more inhale. And then exhale, we can go into vinyasa here, stepping back to plank and lowering. Maybe one-legged chaturanga if you're feeling it. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a resting breath or two here. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to come back to chair and we're going to do the other side. So starting with chair pose, we're going to transition to warrior three. Palms together. This time the right foot's going to press back. We're going to stay on the left foot. So start to let the upper body is kind of counterbalancing as your right foot is pushing back behind you. Imagine you're pushing away a wall. Reach through the head, reach through the heel. Try to level out the hips if possible. Capital T shape. Now bend your left knee. Step back. Really reach for the back of the mat. Get that back heel down. Take the arms up, warrior one. Nice and strong here. So these warrior poses have a really strong dynamic energy to them. Square the hips forward, lunge into the front knee. The legs are very stable, but then even the gaze has a sense of intention in it. One more inhale. As you exhale, hands to the floor. Once again, here's your vinyasa. It's optional, so if you're feeling like you don't need as many vinyasas in your day, just skip it, go straight to down dog. Breathe. Now, let's take the right leg into the air. We're going to keep the hip nice and square here. So toes are flexed to the ground. We're going to throw in just a little bit of core work. Reach through the heel, toes flex down. Now, knee to the chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Breathe. 2 breaths. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, take your knee to your right outer upper arm and hold. Take an extra breath here. Inhale, Take that right leg back up. Now exhale, knee to the left outer upper arm and hold. So there's a little twist happening with the body here. And then we're going to add on. See if you can do this. See if you're able to extend the leg under your arm and then take the left hand up and twist open. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, hand to the floor. Inhale, take the right leg back into the air, down dog split. Exhale, step the foot forward. We're going to take warrior one as we did before. Inhale, warrior one, and now we can open to warrior two. Arms out at shoulder height, front heel and back arch, line up. Lunge into that front knee, drop the left hip, keep your shoulders stacked over your hips, arms at shoulder height, and look over those front fingers. Check in, make sure your front knee really is over your ankle. You can look at your big toe. You should be able to see it inside of the knee. Turn the front palm up. Take a reverse warrior. Stretch back, keep lunging. Take an extra breath here. And then just taking your forearm to the thigh, moving into extended side angle. Now, if you'd like to take a deeper version here, bringing your right hand to the floor or a block, or even taking a bind here, you can go ahead and choose that. Otherwise, just breathe and try to find this extension along the side of your body from the outer edge of the back foot all the way to the fingertips. Now, let's just float up, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet. Take the hands to the waist, nice wide-legged forward fold here. Prasarita Padottanasana. Let the head hang down. Let the hands come to the floor. Walk the hands back between the feet and lean forward into this. Relax the neck. Let the head hang. Breathe. And then take the left hand over to the right leg. Grab on, take the right arm up, twist, reaching the head away from the tail, open it up. And then taking the left hand to the front of the mat, let's just rotate around. So come back around, pivot your right foot, and then here you can take a vinyasa. So stepping to plank, take yourself down to your mat, inhale to your back bend, and let's do the other side, downward facing dog. Take the left leg up. We're going to keep that hip nice and square. So again, we've got a little core work coming in this sequence, just a little bit. And then knee to chest, shoulders forward over the wrists. Strong through the back leg. You can continue to reach the head forward. I know sometimes people also like to tuck in, so whichever version is better for you. Inhale, lift the leg up. Exhale, take your knee to your left outer upper arm and hold. Make sure you're breathing still. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, knee to the right arm. So there's a little twist happening here. Now hold for a breath, and then see if you can kick the leg through as high, as close to the front of the mat as possible. So if it's way back here, it's harder to balance, but if it's up further, it's easier. Take your top arm up, open, and breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, hand to the floor. Inhale, left leg back into the air. And exhale, step it forward between the hands. Back heel down, inhale, warrior one. And now I'm turning to the back, but you'll do the same poses as on the other side. So exhale, warrior two, front heel and back arch line up. If you have a hard time keeping those arms up, sometimes if we lift from below, they just feel heavy. So think about taking the arms up and pressing down, letting them just land at shoulder height. Front knee over ankle. Try to level out your hips. Turn that front palm up, reverse warrior. One more inhale. And then forearm to thigh, extended side angle. Trying to find the diagonal along the side of your body. Now go ahead and come on up. We're going to take another wide-legged forward fold, but this time, hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, shoulder blades together and down, and then lead with the chest to fold down into prostrate. Different variation here. Head hangs. Keep space between ears and shoulders, but those arms can come up and over. Let the neck relax. Let all the blood just flow to your head. It's what's going to happen. Lean forward toward the balls of the feet and breathe. Now, take your hands back to your waist to easily unlace the fingers, and then take the right hand to your left leg, grab on, take a little twist, top arm up, try to keep the hips level if possible, and then walk the right hand to the front of the mat, pivot, pivot, pivot. Here is another vinyasa for you, although actually what we're going to do here is step to plank. Let's instead lower down. So take the knees to the floor, chest to the floor. Let's bend the knees, reach back with the hands for the tops of the feet, and take a nice little bow pose. If you can grab your ankles, great, but don't take your knees wide just to do that. Otherwise, feet are fine. And then flex the feet a little. Pull your shoulder blades together, push your pelvis down. Come on up for bow. This is a little more intense with the thighs off the floor. You can keep them on the floor if you want to keep it a little simpler. Breathe. And then let yourself come down, forehead or an ear to the floor. And one more. So bend those knees. Again, reach back for the tops of the feet. Pull the heels away from the hips. Try to take 5 to 7 smooth, even breaths in your back bend. And then let yourself lower, forehead or an ear to the ground. And we're going to do a little twist for the low back here. So bend the right knee and pick up your right thigh. Start to just step it back behind you over to the left. Try to keep your shoulders and chest level with the ground here. Breathe. And then come on back to center and doing the other side. Bend your left knee. Step that left foot behind you, opening the stretch here across that left hip. Back to center, hands next to the chest, roll up cobra, exhale, down dog. Okay, couple finishing poses. Let's take the right leg into the air, open the hip, bend the top knee, and then pull the right knee forward behind the wrist, shin crosses the mat. Use the left toes to walk the left leg back, get onto the top of the thigh. Let's take good old pigeon stretch here. So we're gonna come down for maybe 5 to 7 breaths. Let yourself fold out over the shin. Maybe start with forearms propping you up, but gradually you might be able to let your body sink and then walk the hands out. Let the head come down if it can. Breathe. And come on up. Walk the hands in. Little stretch for the back leg. Pull the heel towards the hip just briefly if you can do this. Let it go, and we'll switch to the other side. Downward facing dog. Shake out the right leg for a sec if you like to, and then left leg goes up. Open the hip, bend the top knee, point the knee to the sky. Pull that knee forward behind the left wrist, shin crosses your mat. Use your right toes to help you get that right leg back, and then folding down. Now you might notice that the second side feels different than the first. Try to treat it the same way. Just breathe into whatever is going on for you here. And then come on up carefully and bend that right knee behind you. Reach back with the hand for the foot. Draw the heel in. Breathing, let the foot go. Hands to the floor, back to down dog, and shake out the left leg or kick through the heel. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. As you exhale, step or hop forward and come to a seat. Let's take the legs out nice and wide. So this is Upavishta Konasana. Try to get yourself so where your toes are flexed up and you can keep your shoulders over your hips. We're just going to do one side, then the other, and then briefly fold down the center. Let's start going to the right. So turn your body to the right, fold towards your right leg. Take a couple breaths here. Flex your foot back towards you. If you can reach your foot, that's fine, but don't strain for it. Keep your arms relatively relaxed here. Now, from here, see if you can take your right arm to the floor or to your shin. Right down inside, though, if you can. And we're going to turn open and take that top arm up and over for a nice side stretch. Breathing here. If it feels good to just give a little sigh as you exhale, you're always welcome to do that. Come on up. And now again, we're angling towards the left leg and just folding straight over. Keep that right foot flexed. So that's way over there and we've almost forgotten, but we want to have both feet flexed here so the legs stay toned up. Now take your left arm to your calf or inside the calf to the floor, somewhere where it can rest. And then turning open, that top arm comes up and over for a side stretch. Breathe. And then come on up. Last bit, just very short, folding center. Now, if it's easy for you to drop down, you can bring your head to the floor, but don't worry about that. It doesn't really matter how close your head is to the floor. What we're working on is the stretch here and then the release of that upper body. So you might prop yourself up on forearms, or you could even use a block. That said, if your head does come to the floor, allow it to come to the floor, no problem. Just don't force it. And then come on up carefully. Walk your hands in. Let's cross the legs. Now, if you have an extra few minutes, feel free to come to the floor and take a short Shavasana to really complete your practice. But we've really gotten a fair number of things done in a very short period of time. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your practice. Let's bow forward together. Namaste.